Hello guys, so today we'll be making the Z order curve, which is this. It's basically Z where currently it's every time I click the mouse, but on every generation basically there's four times more Z's showing up. Is it four or the power or to the power? I don't know. Let's see, if I click once, then there's four more appearing and so on and so forth, right? If you want the Wikipedia, you can look up Z order curve. It's this one. So this is what we're going to do today. All right. So this was the sketch in P5GS. Let me switch to processing. Awesome. Let me save it and we'll be good to go. Awesome. Z order curve. Awesome. Okay. All right. So let me get to the whiteboard for me to show you how exactly I envision doing it. All right. Oh, there. So the goal is to know. Well, we need to know 4 points, right? So point 1, point 2, point 3, and point 4, right? And this is the order that they need to be in, right? So whenever we draw the line between those, we need to go from 1, 2 to 3 to 4, right? Not from 1 to 3 to 2 to 4. We could, but that's not what we're doing today, right? And on every generation, every point needs to be converted to a z, right? So every point needs to be converted to like 4 new points, right? So I was thinking of doing like let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. So I was thinking of doing like something like a class. Let's call it Z. This class would have the 4 points, right? So P1, P2, P3, and P4. And those 4 would be of Z type, right? They would be Z's. Um, and to start with, I guess they should be all null, right? Because we should generate them only whenever we do the next generation. Um, so we also would need a position, right? Because when we do want to generate those, we need to base ourselves of something, right? Where do we want to position this one, this one, this one, and this one, right? So I was thinking we could get the position as being this point, right? The middle point of everything, right? So, and possibly we would need also the width and the height of the z, right? So to get the point 1, we would just do the point 1 position. We would just do for the x, it would be, so for the x, it would be position dot x minus width divided by 2 minus height divided by 2 so pos dot x minus w divided by 2 and then y would be the same but for the y, and then for p2 we would do x would be equal to pos dot x plus width divided by 2 and y would be minus positive y minus height divided by 2, and so on and so forth for all of the points, right? So we need some position, right? I'm thinking of using a p-vector for the position. We can just use x and y, but I think that's fine. We said we needed a width and a height, right? So a width and a height, right? Those, I guess, flows is fine. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the attributes of the class Z. Now, what do we want in terms? Maybe we want to know if it was generated or not, right? So maybe called generated, and would just be a boolean, right? And by default, it's just false, right? Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the attributes. Okay, all right. What methods do we want? I'm just going to write over here. So, well, class methods. Okay, great. So what do we want in here? We want a generate function, most certainly. Right. So this generate function, what should it do? It should set the P1, P2, P3, and P4. So calculate points. Okay. What else? It should set generated equals true. Okay, I'm really on the edge, but it doesn't matter. Okay, what else does it need to do? I guess if it's generated already, so let's say if generated, then we should call generate for each of the point, right? I'll use capital P for points. Okay. I guess that's pretty much it for the generate method. We'll see if we are missing something, but I think that's pretty much it. So what else do we want in terms of methods? I think that's pretty much it. What we could do, we could create some type of, so we won't create like a show function in here because I want to link the points together, right? We could technically just link a just line between all of those points, right? But the issue is that whenever I generate, there's going to be new points over here, new points over here, new points over here. So eventually I only want to get those points, all of the points, right, from the first Z I create. All right. So I could have a method like get points, right? It would recursively get the points for all of the points, if that makes sense. Or I guess I'll just call it points for right now, but it should get the points. That's clear enough. That's fine. Okay, right. Let's try this. Where's my mouse? Okay, there it is. Awesome. Let me also start this. Okay, great. And let me maybe move it over here. Yeah, all good. Okay, so we'll have void setup as usual, void draw also as usual, and we'll do the rest later. We can set the size. I personally will use a fixed size today, so maybe like 800 by 800 for right now. We can always update it, right? So our class is Z, right? So we said we'll have 4 points in there. Should I just put them in an array? I could. I don't see why not. So let's do an array, right? So we'll have Z array called well, I guess I wouldn't call it points, right? Well, sure, I can call it points, and I'll just call the method something else, right? So let's set it directly to a new z-array of 4 elements. All are going to be null to begin with. So we'll have a p-vector for the position. We'll have a float for the width and a float for the height. All right. And we wanted a boolean for generated, right? Which is false by default. Okay, I think that's it for the attributes at least. All right, so what is it going to receive whenever we're creating one? I was thinking of getting the position, right? And the width and height. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. So this dot pos equal pos. This dot y equal y, w, sorry. And this dot h equals h. Awesome. Okay, we're done with the constructor now. Okay. So this is going to be the middle of all the 4 points. This is the width between, let's say, the length between, let's say, the first point and the second point, and this is the length between the, let's say, the first point and the third point, right? Okay. So let's create our generate function. Okay. So we said if it was generated, then first thing first, we don't need to generate anything, and we need to just call basically generate on the subsequent points, right? On all of the points that we have, right? So let's just do a for loop. We could technically just iterate all of them since they're, well, let's just do that, right? So points index 0 dot generate and 4 time, right? 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Otherwise, so whenever it's not already generated, we need to generate those points, right? So basically just going to copy this one. So, okay. So point 0 is going to be new z. And we said the position was going to be, since this is the first one, the top left point, right? It needs to be, well, a new p vector. And the x of that should be the current position dot x minus the width divided by 2, and the y should be exactly the same, right? So pos dot y minus the height divided by 2. Awesome. And this is going to be the same for all of them, but the size of them is going to be the same, right? So the w is going to be w divided by 2, and the h is going to be h divided by 2. So let me copy this 4 times. Whoa. Okay. There we go. This would be 3, 2, 1. Okay, awesome. So the only thing that would change for all of them is going to be the p vector that we create. So the second one needs to be plus, right? So on the other side, and then the bottom left one should be minus here, but it should be plus here, and should be plus here, and plus here, right? So there we go. We've generated point, and not to forget to set generated to true. Okay, awesome. I think that's pretty much it for the whole thing. Okay, all right. So now let's do our, let's return an array list, just because we're not gonna know how big the list of points will be, like the total amount of points will be. Let's call it get points, right? Just because we've already called our attribute point. So yeah, let's call it get points. So it's important that we return them in like the right order. Okay, so let's first generate the the initial list, right? So sorry. Let's do first if generated, then do something else, do something else. All right, let's start with this. Let's not care if it's, let's do the generated first, right? So the first thing first, I'm going to need a list of points, just a list of z's, just to keep track of everything, right? So, oh, and I might not want to do z, but maybe p vectors, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. I can access the position of each z's whenever I want. That's not really an issue. But in any case, let's do this. All right. So let me copy this. Let me put this here, and let's call this points, right? That's fine. We can use this dot points for the rest. So, or let's just call it. No, I don't like p. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. All right. So the first one that needs to be added to this, I think there is an add all function. Add all expect. All right, it does exist, right? So we need to get first thing first the points from the like the beginning of the line, right? We need to follow the line that we want. So we need to get the points from top left, right? So which is the first point, right? So this dot points index 0 dot get points. I think. Yep. Okay. All right. And we'll do the same thing in order that we want, which is 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Else, if it's not generated, I guess we could just return return a new. Sure. Yeah. Let me try this. New array list of p vectors. And let's just return the position of it, right? So I guess, can I do this? How do I do that? Can I do something like this? No, I don't know actually. Well, let me do something simple. Let me just do points dot add this the pause, right? And then we can just return points. I believe that is it. I think we're pretty much done. Sincerely, yeah. I think that's it, and it's really quick to do. Let me do z, and let's call it z, and let's do the first z be equal to new z, where so I will want the position to be the middle of the canvas, so width divided by 2 and height divided by 2. And then this should be a p vector, right? So new p vector. Okay, and then the width and height, we'll need to do width divided by 2 and height divided by 2, right? Yeah, I think so. Right? Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And let's do again void and then mouse pressed. So every time we press the mouse, we're going to do in call generate. So it's going to generate generations based on mouse pressed. Okay, so z dot generate. Okay, and then we could possibly just show the points. So for p vectors, p vector p in z dot get points. Let's do, well, we'll need to do begin shape and end shape, and we'll do vertex at p.x and p.y. Okay, and let's do no fill, and let's do stroke 255, and let's draw the background on each generation. Let's set it black for now. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I'm going to click. Okay, and now click again. Nice. There we go. So that's the Z order curve. Okay, right now it's we can maybe add like a generation counter, just and then just have an if statement to make sure that generation doesn't get too wild. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. You can try adding colors, maybe changing the hue based on the map from the amount of points that you have to 360, right? And set the color mode to HSL. What else? You could vary maybe the stroke weight or the position. You could do it not in a square, right? It would be stretched out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching again. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe. Thanks. See you in the next one.